All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits. Welcome to our monthly live podcast. My name is Debbie Maisha, and I am the Sensual Energy Alchemist.
I am Carmel Jean Francois. I am your girl, your health and wellness coach, working with individuals with food and sugar addictions. And I'm going to pass it over to you, Dr. Jamicia.
I'm Dr. Jamesia, the nurse practitioner extraordinaire. I'm also your intermittent fasting and mindset coach, YouTube influencer, speaker, author, all the things. And I'm 1/5 of Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits.
I am Shamika Anderson. I'm the mental alchemist, and we are Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits. Look, I'll give our little intro. So we are Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, we are the Black Coffee. Our lips drip with honey, and sometimes we have a little bit of grit, sass, class, and all that ass. Listen, you guys, I am so excited about today. I was talking to my girls, and I was like, listen, I don't know if we're appreciating the little things. And they were kind of like, what do you mean? Look, what do you mean? What are you saying to us? And I was sitting up here thinking about all the things that we see on social media, all the friends we have, the relationships that we're building. And sometimes we just don't think about the little things being as significant as they are until it's later in life. And so that's the conversation that I wanted to bring to the girls, to the group, and have a little bit of discussion about it. So one of the things, let me tell y'all this first. I was listening to this thing on, I think it was like Instagram or Snapchat, Twitter. Look, one of those things, one of them, right? And they were talking about, those friends that you have where you can call while you're in the car and you just, gabbing and blabbing until you get to your destination. You'd be like, all right, I'm gonna call you back. And it's like, you don't cherish those little moments until you're like somewhere you're like, I ain't got nobody to talk to, ain't got nowhere to go, ain't got nothing to do. Or that person that can come to your house and like they don't need nothing. You just give them the remote control. And it's like y'all can spend all day together. And as long as you got a couple of snacks or some groceries to the side, it's just like it's nothing. And I honestly value those moments. And I just wanted to bring that to you guys. Like, do you feel like you're appreciating the little things in life? And of course, y'all know we're gonna drive down this road a little bit because I got different examples. But honestly, ladies, do you guys feel like you're enjoying the little things in life? Up, you're muted.
Dr. Jamicia, did you want to dive in first?
No, you can go.
Well, I didn't have anything profound to say just yet. I kind of just wanted to answer your question. Like, I feel like I do. I feel like I've come to a certain place in life where I know all the things matter. They all matter, whether they suck, whether I'm having a fantastic day, or whether I'm having a very melancholy day and like nothing serious is going on. Like, I enjoy that too. I enjoy the I enjoy the little times where I just get a chance to sit and breathe and nothing else is going on, or even the times when I know something should be going on and I just don't want to right now. Like, I enjoy all those moments, and I enjoy the crucial times too. Like, when I get a chance to take a deep breath during a crisis, I'm like, this too shall pass, right? And I think that it's in the awareness. It's in the awareness in that moment in time. Once you understand that something is kind of like happening, and number one, you can gain control over your own emotions about it, and you can have control over your thoughts and opinions and your actions about it. I feel like that's a moment in time when I am actually appreciating the little things and the big things, all of it. So that's what I got for now. I'm going to let somebody else dive in.
I'm going to dive in because I feel like I'm not appreciating the little things as much as I should. I feel like I'm just so busy and I'm doing so much. And in the moment of it and the little things that are happening, I'm not savoring that. And there are times when I sit back and I just kind of reflect on what the day has been, what the week, the month, whatever. But I feel like I'm not really in that moment, like right then and there appreciating it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No,
It's like it's
I got I already got a question because I'm like, you're like savoring the little moments, but like what you mean? Like, give me an example.
well,
If you
like
can.
okay, like today, I had my Deltaversary and I was with all my sisters and I was enjoying myself, but the whole time I got a timer set to come here. I'm looking at my watch. I'm like irritated because the food ain't out. So there's several things that I still could have just had a conversation with my sister sitting next to me on either side, which I kind of did a little bit, but not, I wasn't really there. I was worried about, being at the next place.
Okay. That's what I was gonna say. So it's like you're there, you're in the moment, but you're not actually like fully in the moment. Cause it's like I'm thinking that I'm here in this moment, but I'm also thinking about all the other things I got to do today. And so it's rushed. Like you can't really enjoy the company, even though you're around all these people. And I think what brings it home too is sometimes when those sad things happen, where it was like, oh, I was there with that person and I didn't appreciate that moment. You get what I'm saying? That's when you really start to slow down in certain stuff. Because like I was thinking about when I took my grandmother out to lunch because she likes seafood. And I was like, girl, we finna go to this seafood place and you can get whatever you want. Look, you can have whatever you like, And I was like, girl, do what you're doing. And it was just one of those moments that she kind of like just stared out the window and I took a picture of her. And when I took the picture, I got sad because I was like, this may be one of those last moments. You get what I'm saying? And it really was too, but not realizing it, for me in that moment, I was trying to stay focused in the moment, not to get emotional or not to think that you don't have all the time in the world. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
So,
and I'm not the whole time. There were some moments that I really did. I was there. But I feel like sometimes because I'm always feeling like I'm in a rush, I need to really enjoy the little things. I do enjoy the little things that come on a regular basis, but the bigger stuff, right? That doesn't come on a regular basis. If it's too much, then I'm like, I don't know. Even sometimes when I take a trip, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, wow, I should have really just slowed it down, took a moment to be on the beach a little bit longer, maybe got in the water a little bit more, those types of things. So I feel like I need to work on that. Just saying.
Deltaversary. Look.
Thank you. And don't get me wrong. We done all the things. Okay. I've been enjoying all the things. It's just, we had another thing today on our Deltaversary. We've been celebrating all month, but yes, and I'm tired.
And I think sometimes that's a whole thing too. Like sometimes we get so caught up. Like the other day, let me tell y'all what had happened over here. The other day, I was like, I went to go to the beach, and on my way to the beach, one of the platforms that I work for, which is tutoring, they sent me a link and was like, oh, you got somebody at 2:00. And so like, ultimately I canceled my day at the beach. Like I was maybe an hour away. It was like an hour and some change, but I was way past my, like 45 minutes from my house, maybe another hour to the beach. And I was just in traffic and I turned around and I wound up going to one of my favorite places. I ain't gonna tell y'all all my business, but I went to one of my favorite places and we just went shopping a little bit, got me a couple groceries, a couple things like that. But I didn't go to the beach as much as I wanted to. And so this Thursday just passed, I was like, you know what? I'm going to the beach no matter what, because I've been talking about it for however long, right? And it's the same thing happened again. I got other people on my schedule. Like I only had one person initially, got other people on my schedule. And I was like, cancel that, or whatever else. because I wanted to be in that moment of just going to the beach and just relaxing. Like even the one that I had, the appointment I had in that evening, I canceled that appointment just because I was like, I don't want to be rushed in the moment. I don't want to get out there and feel like I have to be on somebody else's timetable. And a friend went with me, and it was just a delicious time, like just actually sitting there, enjoying the birds, enjoying the people, the water, all the things, just taking it in and relaxing and being grounded. And I think sometimes that's what we need when we're too busy with life, life doing all the things. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I feel like that was just one of those moments that was necessary and living in that moment. What about you, Maisha? Look, I ain't hear your beautiful voice.
Yeah, because I didn't. I mean, there isn't much for me to add right now. Yes, I take time to take in the little things. I do. Just one of the reasons why I don't like a full calendar. It's one of the reasons why I try not to live my life by a clock. That's one of the reasons why I live the way I live. It doesn't mean though that I don't have human moments where I'm like frazzled and all I can think about is what needs to get done, what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next. Even before we got on here, I was busy doing other things. And even when we got on here, as I'm listening to, so this is what happens. I wasn't present. As I'm listening to everyone else, I'm sitting back, I'm breathing, I'm getting into my body. I'm like, you want to be here and you want to be present. You don't need to race to speak. You just need to be here and just let the moment unfold. So that's what happens when I'm not in the moment. Like I can feel it, like I feel like this. And I just, all right, well, what do you need to do to bring yourself here? Because this is what you can control, nothing. So just be here and be here now. So that was my moment today as we were coming on. And StreamYard wouldn't work for me.
Look, and I think too, I do want to take this look down the street, around the corner, and 2 blocks over. But another piece of it too is like even in relationships, right? I see on social media where there's all this conversation about what a man should bring to a table, what a woman should bring to a table, but then like 90% of these people are not in a relationship, right? Because it's all the begging and pleading and being discomforted with other individuals. And then you sit and you have these, I have these moments, I don't know about other people, where I come to the realizations that we're so concerned and wrapped up in what things should look like that we're not enjoying people, right? And we're not allowing men to be men and them to be beings, right? Whether it's them being in their emotions, them being fragile, them being whatever it is, it's this perception that they always have to be one way, right? They have to be stoic, they have to bring the money to the table, and you never know what they're actually going through. And I had a conversation with someone earlier, and I was like, it really is a lack of communication, which is why we're not able to appreciate one another and appreciate appreciate the little things. And some of that for me was, look, I got to breathe because I'm just like, it was a lot. You know what I'm saying? But some of that for me was just like, are you too busy trying to perceive what somebody should be in your space, versus just allowing them to be and enjoying them for who they are and what they bring to your it's not just what they bring, but like just who they are as a person, as a full valuable person. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like sometimes that's missing. Like you're unable to see the child in a person, like the holistic part. We're so looking at the macho-ness or whatever it is, that it's like, oh, I see you finally. Like I see all the variations of you. And I think that is different.
I will say there are many gifts to me in polyamory. And one of the biggest, no, there are several, so I can't say the biggest. One of the gifts that polyamory has given me is the ability to see each person because each person is in my life for a different reason. And I don't have the what I see a lot of in monogamy, and I think every relationship form is valid. So, you know, and there's it's fuckery in all of them. But what I see a lot in monogamy is a level of expectation. This is what I need. I like this person and I need them to fit all the things that I need so this can work in my life. And that's a lot of pressure. And that's a lot to put onto someone else. And when you do that, you're not able to enjoy all the little things about them because any one of those little things could make or break the relationship. And you want it to work because you have to have this thing. You have to be able to have your person and be in love and all of that that comes with that. And I see that in society in general, that there isn't a lot of space to just appreciate the person. It's more, I really want to view you this way. I need you to change so I can view you this way. And I don't really want to accept all of who you are because then you won't fit me. And then I might have to give you up. And I don't want to have to do that because I don't want to be sad. So please just fit my stuff. And because my relationships are structured the way they are, I just don't encounter that. So I can accept all of this person over here and all of that person over there and everybody in the middle.
But I think too, you brought up like a lot of stuff just then, and and within it, like part of it is, you know, like what you say, that preconceived notion of like, hey, I need you to fit this so that I can have this reality, right? And I've noticed a lot with people, and I'm going to go back to, you know, like romantic relationships or, you know, whatever else. But in platonic relationships, people are losing out on friendships sometimes because it's like, I need this one person or these two friends to do everything with, versus having a friend that's like, oh, well, I go with these people to go out to a party, or, you know, I go over here and these are my intellectual friends or whatever else. Like, yes, we can dibble and dabble. They can fit in multiple ranges, but so many people are in a place where it's like, I want one person for everything. And typically that drives over or falls over into their romantic relationships. Or those, I don't even know, like now even my concept of romantic relationships is skewed, but the relationships where people want to blend in their familiarity with people, right? Like being able to have a friendship, be sexual, and, you know, and build on it and blend it together. Because for some people, that's a difficult task, right? Some people, they just marry people just because this person can cook and clean and do stuff for them, right? Or some people, they just get married. I want to get married because I want to have sex, and I don't want it to be, you know, I want it to be with this one person, and I don't want the church or this other group to judge me for not doing it under these guides. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think I find it interesting.
Sorry, it's all
I mean,
judgment on my
real.
face. It just makes me sad.
Yeah, but it's real. Like people literally, most people, from my experience, are jumping into relationships because I want to have sex, right? Like I want this great relationship because I want a great relationship, but ultimately is I want to have sex. And I don't want people to be calling me out. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have a bastard child, and I don't want to, you know, X, Y, and Z. It's all these other stipulations. But the biggest one, it all boils down to, I want to have sex. So that's why I'm getting married, so I can have sex and not feel bad about having sex. And so you skip over a lot of the little things. Like a lot of people are like, I don't have any more talking stage left in me. Well, how the hell are you going to explore a person? Like, how do you guys discover each other and get to know each other if you don't have a talking stage in you? How do you figure out what you like and don't like, and what they like and don't like, and what you can live, live without, or whatever else, or what you can live with without that exploration. I don't know.
So that's an interesting thing that you say, Jamika. I don't find that people are getting married or women are looking for a mate because they just want to have sex. I feel like it might even be more of the status, or I want to have a child and I don't want to be a single parent or something of that nature. But it's interesting what you said, that they're so busy, preoccupied with that reason of why they want to be attached to somebody else, that they're not paying attention to the little things and they're not enjoying the little things, or they're so busy trying to make sure that this person checks all the boxes, like Maisha was saying, and they're not really appreciating the little things and overlooking, or maybe even the new empty nesters, right? Where the kid goes to college. And I know a couple just recently, and the guy says, no, actually the woman was like, now I have this husband after raising a child for 18 years and the kid goes off to school. What are we supposed to do with each other? And I said, well, take the opportunity to learn him, because there was 18 years of growth that happened there with another being that they were raising, and 18 years of fatherhood, motherhood, parenthood, and of course that person's individuality shining through, growing as well amongst all of it. And this would serve as a beautiful time for you to get to know that person and get to know if you really do get along, or if you just co-parented very, very well. And it's in those things too. Like they got a chance to each other. They got a chance to enjoy all the little things in their child's life. But now that the child's gone, it's kind of like, okay, let me see what's left of this relationship and if we even have a future. Don't get me wrong. They were not in a bad place. They were just in a very odd, curious place. They were just kind of like, now what do I do with this person that I married? And that could also be an example of them not having appreciated each other in all the little things in all those 18 years, or just kind of like taking it for granted. But I also find that I feel like nowadays people do want a partner, maybe for status, maybe for that +1 when they get invited to some kind of an event, and not have to be there alone and have to explain why they're alone. And I know that I've fallen in that category so many times, where people started even doubting my sexuality. Not that it makes a big deal difference to me or to them in their lives, but those are some of the things that other people start to think about, that may impact how I feel about myself, and not able to enjoy even the little things that's happening with me, because I'm so preoccupied with the fact that I want a +1, or I want a partner, or I want to have sex, like you're saying, or I want to have a child, and I don't want to be a single parent. And I think it's the bigger picture that kind of distracts us from the little things. That's kind of what that came up for me.
No, I love all of what you were saying. And I think too is we focus on one area instead of enjoying it all. Like we don't look at it holistically. Like we literally, like what you're saying, they had a kid and it went from them getting to know each other and being in a relationship to like, okay, let's just focus on this kid. Let's get them raised and get them out of the house. And then it's like you don't know yourself. You don't know who they are. And we talked about this before, how sometimes with women, we get so wrapped up in this other person who we've decided to have this relationship with, that you lose bits and pieces of yourself. And that's why later on, however many years later, women find themselves like, I don't even know who I am. Or men are like, well, when I met her, what made me fall in love was because she had her own thing going and she was doing, X, Y, and Z. And now she's all up my behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just really is. They're just like, oh, I don't know. And it's all of the odd stuff. Like I was watching this movie called Queen Tears on like Netflix. And that's kind of like how they were in their relationship. The guy fell in love with the woman, and, he was doing all this stuff based off of his perception of who she was, coming out to realize later that she wasn't this damsel in distress, so to say, the way that he felt like she was a damsel in distress. And so after they married type situation, eventually, I don't want to tell y'all all the stuff because I want y'all to go see it. But ultimately, after they married, it was something totally different. And they lived, where they live with each other, but live separate lives, but live together all at the same time. Yeah, that's how I'm
Is it a
explaining.
movie or a series?
It's a series.
Okay.
It's good. I liked it. I don't know. Look, I don't want to be like, it ain't too long because then you might be like, eh. But yeah, so but ultimately it was a threat that came about in their relationship where it was like, okay, well, let's try something else. Let's try something different. And as that impacted the relationship, their relationship grew and flourished into all these other things because they started to put their focus back on each other, which is what kind of happens in life as well, right? So the parents now, the kid is going away to college. Now they can kind of refocus themselves on their personal relationships, or focus themselves on what they like to do as individuals. And all of those things bring a different appreciation. And when you focus on you as an individual, sometimes that gives you that piece of when you come home and come and sit down around a dinner table, which we don't do as much often, now. But you sit around a dinner table, you have something to have a discussion about. When I ask you, how was your day? We really can chat and have a conversation and commune with each other. And I think a lot of those pieces are really missing in today. Well, yeah.
No, I agree. But what came to mind too, not necessarily relationship, but what came to mind for me was today we walked into the convention center, and my daughter was with me, and they had all of these basketball players, all of these girls, and they were AAU. And when we were back in that age, she hated it. I mean, everything about it. But when she saw all of them, she was like, I miss this so much. I miss this so much. I'm like, girl, how? You hated it. She was like, no, Mom, it wasn't that I hated everything, but she missed the camaraderie. She missed the road trip. She missed being with her girls. She missed all of those things. So again, that's an example of the little things, enjoying the little things that, you're able to. How many people are able to be on an AAU team?
So for those who don't know, because I didn't know what AAU was, I had to go Google it. What is athletic amateur something or another?
Yeah, okay. And she was I'm sorry, y'all. I thought everybody knew what that was. I know I shouldn't be using acronyms. Well, it's where it's where your kid plays sports and they're good at it, and they go to they travel around. They're like a travel team. Yeah.
Yes, gotcha.
So, yeah, that's all. Sorry, y'all. So it's just life in general, just enjoying life in general, and especially as far as partners are concerned. I don't know if I was talking to you, Carmel, about this in a relationship, but the things that used to seem like they were such a big deal are just not as much when you can appreciate the little things. It's like, it's a life. It's like a life. This whole thing is life. We're just learning how to deal with it, to be in it, and to enjoy it. And I think what makes it great for me is having these types of discussions with you all and with other people, because it helps me to just sit back and say, you know what? I need to chill. It is not that serious. I just need to appreciate the little things. That's all. So, yeah.
So it's interesting that you said you just kind of like look at the bigger things and you just say, I need to chill, right? And so my example before was so busy looking at the bigger picture that we're not taking these little things for granted, but it's also looking at the bigger picture and saying, you know what? I need to chill a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. And I think it all comes back to being present and just understanding what's happening right here and now. Like, is this really a big deal, or is this something that I should appreciate? Like the little arguments that you get into for no reason, and just because maybe you might be a little annoyed, and you'll look at it in 5 days and be like, I can't believe I gave dude such a hard time. Like, what was that, right? But when it's happening at that particular moment in time, many times we're not even aware that it is happening. We're so caught up in the emotions, and I feel like it's a skill, it's a talent, it's a certain amount of self-awareness for us to catch ourselves and catch ourselves going in either direction, either making a big deal out of something or too little deal, or not even enjoying the moment. And it's for us to kind of like stop, smell the roses, kind of check out what's going on. Why am I feeling this way? Tapping in and then moving forward accordingly. It takes practice. It takes practice, and it takes knowing that, okay, I'm a woman of a certain age. Like, I've lived life to a certain extent. I can kind of see where this is going. I can kind of assess what I'm feeling right now and assess how to move forward accordingly. And I think it's an interesting practice.
It is.
Right.
Yeah, and I love what you just said, and it made me think about what Maisha says to us all the time about. She doesn't say it like this, but it's really essentially you're doing too much. You're trying to do too much to get this certain effect, right? Y'all doing too much. It's not that serious. People literally want to just be in your company and enjoy your company. All that stuff you're trying to do over there with this little thing over here, with the little chocolate right there and the thing like this to look like this and be like that, that's too much. So it's the little things that make the impact.
But sometimes I like the too much.
No, I do too. I do too.
It's gonna happen.
I do too. But I do like the balance of us to say, okay, if I don't have that chocolate in there, that if I don't have 4 chocolates in there and I only have 3 chocolates in there, it's going to be okay. I think.
Yeah, and see, that's where I would fall off the wagon, because if everything else has 4 chocolates, they all do. But there's 2 things to that, and this could be another discussion for another time. With the too much, I think that in today's society, a lot of that exists because people aren't actually comfortable with who they are, and they don't think that people want to be around them unless they show up a certain way, right? I was and I'm gonna get back to this in a minute, but I was in a group with women, and there was a discussion about going out somewhere without any makeup on. First of all, I didn't understand why that was even a discussion. Like, it was a thing. Like, maybe we could go out one night without makeup. And I was like, okay, I'm on here right now with no makeup and no filters. and they were like, and somebody else was like, yeah, but then we have to sit in the back somewhere. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, so I think there is a space where people don't take in the little things because they are too busy trying to cover up so many other things. But that's a whole discussion that leads into, people just being accepted for who they are. The other thing is, I think age plays a part in learning to appreciate the little things. When we're younger, everything's a big deal. Life is ending immediately. There's a lot of confusion. We're pulled in so many different directions. Everybody wants us to do X, Y, and Z. I think as we age, and hopefully there's wisdom, because everybody who ages is not wise. But hopefully, as there's wisdom, you start to let a lot of that stuff go. It's one of the reasons why I don't pay any attention to social media chatter. First of all, it's not directed towards me. I am not the demographic for these conversations. The things that some of these folks are talking about are not even in my sphere. I'm not worried about high value man and this and that and the other. I'm not concerned about what somebody thinks I bring to the table or not. I don't care. Like, I'm past that stage of life, and I understand that. But I think hopefully as wisdom comes into the picture, everyone will begin to appreciate the little pieces of life that happen, because it is the little pieces that make up the bigger moments. not really the other way around. So if we're in the midst of enjoying the little times that happen and just holding on to those, it makes a better relationship, a better friendship, a better whatever ship, because you're putting all of those little things together like a puzzle that makes this bigger picture. That's how I see it.
One of the things I wanted to say, and I like what you were saying, because I think that that's true. Like it does become a puzzle, and it pulls all together, right? It makes it that much more beautiful as far as artwork goes or whatever else. But you and I, we were talking about moments, like making happy moments and all of that good stuff, right? And we were talking about kind of like tapping into your imagination, because one of the things that I believe is that we're all here having experiences, and the experiences aren't good experiences. They're not bad experiences. They're experiences. And as we shift who we are, those experiences adjust. So some of the things, like I remember the example was that I gave you. I was like, everybody always have that one story about them being at grandmother's house. Everybody has pallets on the floor and, laying out and all this other stuff. When you're in the moment, you're like, I don't want to be on the floor. I don't want to lay on the pallet. Why we all got to be here together and do X, Y, and Z, and it's the complaint.
Laugh together.
Right.
Well, see, let me just say real quick. Everybody doesn't have that experience, though.
But it doesn't matter what the experience is. I'm saying when you have shared experience with certain people, just in general, any experience, it could be any experience. I'm just giving a specific one just for an example. But in those moments, even like what Dr. Jamika did with her daughter, you're going to these events with AAU, you're practicing, you're going to basketball practice, you're doing all the things. I didn't play basketball, but I know people who had to. I watched them, practice, and I watched them prepare for games. And you hate it. Your knees sore, your legs sore, you got to ice your shins, whatever it is. Those are moments where you're just like, I hate doing all this stuff all the time. But when you get out on the field and you're actually playing and you're on the team having the fun times or whatever it is, you value the experience. Or later in life, when you're looking back on it, that experience, you're like, oh, I remember when. Even for me, when we were laying all on the floor on the pallet at my grandma's house, it's like, this person always pee the bed. I don't want them to sleep beside me, or whoever else. Like, I don't want to do it. Like, why I can't just go to my house? My mama got me a whole bed over there. Why I can't X, Y, and Z. But then when you get older, you're like, y'all remember when? And it becomes stories that you tell where we were in community and we were, doing things together. It was about that bonding experience. Even with us, as BCHG, when we're putting on events, like you guys were like, yeah, Jamika was sitting up here, Carmel. Jamika was sitting up here trying to get me to put these Christmas trees together. And she just like, she don't care and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, then once it's all done, we've bonded and it's like, oh, it really was beautiful. Or, oh, she saw this person's vision and tried to assist it happen. But it's because we're all together, no matter what the clash may be at the time or the hiccup or the bad experience, right? Because that's what we like to call it. The what came from it was a more joyous time, right? And it's like, I wouldn't trade those bad opportunities or those negative experiences. We wouldn't trade it for anything now, because I can see why it had to happen. And I think people try to avoid horribly, try to avoid all the negative experiences, thinking that it's going to lead them to a better life. And it's like, you need that, right? You need those moments in order to allow life to flourish.
So it's interesting. I remember a long time ago, I was 17, my first job. And I remember I had gotten to work, and one of my older guys that worked there, we were talking about a breakup. Somebody had just been through a breakup. And he was like, that's great. And they were like, what are you talking about? I am miserable. He says, but that's the best part. I never looked at heartbreak the same again. He says, because you feel. He said, that's the important part. You feel. And I was like, in all my like 17 years, I was like, wow, what a way to look at it. I never looked at heartbreak the same again. And so I knew that every time I was going into a relationship, there's going to be some heartbreak in this. And I was just like, let's just keep it moving. And let's just do what we enjoy. And let's just enjoy each other until we don't. And that was an important lesson for me to learn at such a young age. And it was just his expression and his like enthusiasm for heartbreak that really like shifted my way of thinking about heartbreak. And so what you were just saying, people are really protective of their emotions, and that's human. I feel like that's just something that we do. Despite the fact that I learned that lesson at 17, that I didn't enjoy heartbreak. I just had a different mindset about it. And and then Maisha, you were talking about the polyamory before, and I can resonate just a little bit because there was one time where there was more than one man in my life, and I said, "Oh, Carmel, you're headed down for heartbreak," and I said, oh, well, let's just see where this takes me. And I headed right to heartbreak. But let me tell you, I enjoyed every last second of it before that heartbreak. And guess what? I'm still alive to tell the story, and we don't die from it. No matter how much we try to protect our hearts, our souls, this makes us, I mean, for me, it made me a stronger, wiser person. I know a little bit more about myself, about how I interact with other people. And moving forward, I think it just made me a stronger person. So yeah, that's what that brought out for me, Jamaica.
Yeah, it's all part of the tapestry of our lives. So that's why it's and if we learn to come at life with a healthy sense of detachment, then we can appreciate all the small things. But we need to have a healthy sense of detachment, and that's something that's people are clinging real tight, I think, to a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, because I was gonna say something totally different, and then I lost it. And then when you said that, I'm like, I wrote that down earlier. I was like, there has to be a balance of acceptance and surrendering, and that's the piece that people don't do, right? One, they don't want to accept things as it is. You don't want to accept people for who they are. Like we keep trying to, like what we said before, keep trying to put people in these boxes, and when they don't fit in the boxes, then you're upset. But you already know people are pretending. Like let the people be a great pretender while they can, and enjoy the moments, and then when it's over, just oh shit, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Like just be like, oh my God. And there has to be some surrendering. I was having a conversation with two different individuals this week, and both were kind of the same, where I was just saying sometimes you have to have the hard conversations. What we were talking about before, people are not willing to communicate. And actually 3 different people. So one of the people was someone who, I'm in relationship with, and I was like, me and this person had to sit down and have the hard conversations. And it was the things that have been on our chest that in the moment you kind of don't want to talk about because you just want to have, that time together. But the conversations have to happen. And so somebody else, when I was using it as an example, they were like, well, was it a good conversation, or, was it bad? Did it end what you wanted? And I was like, that's the problem, is that in that case, I have no expectations. All it was as an opportunity to communicate where both people have an even playing field. Whether you get upset, you get mad, you get angry, you feel all the things, allow yourself to feel them, but be open enough so that you're expressing the truth of what something is to you. Because only in that moment where you're expressing the truth can anything really be fixed. And I was like, some of the problems is that you're trying to create something that doesn't exist. You're not allowing the person to truly be who they are, and you're not giving them space to understand what you really want, because you're trying to manipulate the situation versus understanding that and I don't even know how it was said, but I was just kind of like, you're already losing because you're unwilling to lose. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I say that because you're not being your full expression of yourself, and you're not allowing that person to choose you. by expressing who you really are. And so
Mhm.
you're already at a loss. And so even if you lose the relationship, you were at a loss before because they didn't really know you. You didn't give them the opportunity to know the truth of who you are. And now you lost somebody who you really did not know because you weren't being honest and didn't give them the opportunity to be honest. So no matter what it was, you were already in a lose-lose situation. And sometimes have these opportunities to communicate with people and have the difficult conversations just so that we can make a decision, we can make a valid choice and be able to just accept them where they are. You get what I'm saying? Surrender to the idea that you have to control the narrative. And when you surrender, you actually are more in control of the narrative than you were before while you were trying to manipulate the narrative. So it was something like that. It was a few different conversations, but ultimately the same thing, you know.
That's when personality types kind of come in, personality types and what people are used to, and even how people found themselves being treated or mistreated. And sometimes it's something that it takes practice. It takes a conscious knowing for them to even know when they need to surrender, because it's not an easy thing when you're used to having your way. Let's say you've been that kid who always had her way, and now all of a sudden it's like, wait, things are not working out my way. I need to manipulate things or whatever the case is. But things do get a little tricky when being forced to deal with something in a way you've never been in a way you've never dealt with it before. But I hear what you're saying. There's this delicate balance that we just have to learn through experience too. So it's kind of like we definitely have to go through all of that. Yeah, I like what you said.
And what you said about, go on, Maisha.
No, you can go ahead.
No, I'm just stuck on what Jamika said about you're already losing because you're unwilling to lose. It's like, it's all up my street. Oh yeah.
And I was thinking about what Carmel said about personality, because we think our personality is us, but it's not. But that's another topic for another day. But I just want to put that out there. And
well, what do you mean by that? Don't just leave us hanging. Just give us a little bit.
It's just a cliffhanger. Come back for the next episode now. Because a lot of personality is the way that we've been taught to deal with life. It's what has become us based on situations we have faced.
Right,
So
which is why I was right, because I said if you're used to somebody always giving you your way,
right,
and so this is how my yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Here's the second part of that is most people actually aren't used to getting their way. And so but what they're used to is being powerless. So when they become adults, because adults keep saying, once you're grown, you can do X, Y, and Z. Now that they're grown, they feel like things are supposed to go my way. It did when my mama and so said such and such, and I couldn't get my way then. Someone's going to give me my way now. I never got it. Everybody told me no. Give me my way now. So now you're in a relationship with somebody, and what do you want? I want my way. When do I get my way? When is it my turn to get all the things I want? And it's that behavior that I think we see more of than people who are used to getting their way. It's such a big fear to spoil a child, but
it's a caveat to all of that too. For me is even that idea of having my way is not your way. That idea of thinking that you've always gotten your way is not your way. It is what you have experienced in society and what they've told you should have, what you should be doing, what you should be living, which is why a lot of people are very uncomfortable and in themselves and in their experience, right? And it's this comfort that they're not exploring the way that they should, which is why they're like, well, like, and we've talked about this, like being the good girl, right? And doing all the things. I went to college, I went to school, I got married, I had the kids, I did all of this stuff. And then you're still miserable because that none of that was really what you wanted. or you saying, I want to be in a monogamous relationship, but then, you see the memes like, Lord, if all I'm supposed to do is be during the talking stage over and over again, then just tell me that. If I'm the customer service representative, just tell me that. You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing about it is sometimes you don't really want that monogamous relationship. What you do want, i.e., me, I'm the fantasy. Like, I am the one, let's go have fun. Let's do all the fun things. When I'm busy, don't bother me because I got shit to do. Like, when we together, and we gonna live our best together life. And
Yes,
then when we're not
please.
together, like, honey, I got flight tickets. Can you send me some money so I can get on this flight? Because I got things to do. Like, can you just support me in my lifestyle? But when we all coops and cadoodled up and booed up, like, I want to be all up under you in your skin. I want to be all okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a cat. Like, when I want to love you, I want to love you. I want you all over me. And when I'm done, I'm maxed out on love right now. Don't touch me. I'm okay.
All
But
the things.
yeah, but it's within all of those things is that I think we have these ideas of what and how things should be, which is what comes back around to all of the appreciation. You have this idea of what a relationship should look like, and so you're trying to fix your relationship to look like what you've been prescribed to, right? What the movies say a relationship should be like. Well, my grandmother, but you was watching your grandmother as a child go through a relationship, and so you have the child's mindset of what a relationship looked like. And so that's not really it, which is why you feel like you need to run and leave, or in hard times, or when you're not getting your way, you're trying to move and maneuver. Or like when the people were asking me, was it a good conversation or a bad conversation? Bro, it was a conversation. It was things that had to be said, and it was necessary for everyone to have an even kill, environment where you can express yourself. Both parties are able to express themselves. Everyone's not going to be comfortable because that's not life. Life is not always about being comfortable, especially not if you're willing to grow, right? And you're wanting to grow with someone. It's going to be uncomfortable. And I just think that a lot of people just don't take all those things into consideration. Just
The
in
only thing
general.
I want to add something into that because I think it's important for us as women when it comes to expectations. And I know we're getting ready to wrap up. There's also this idea that we're supposed to want to have children, or we're supposed to have children. And I think that we need to move away from that. There are a lot of women who don't really want them and have them because that's what you're made to do or you're supposed to do, who are not who end up not being the best mothers. And then those are whole human beings walking around this earth who now have to deal with all of those other issues. And we have to start sending the message that just as it is okay for a woman to go want her career, and it's okay for her to want to be polyamorous, and it's okay for her to be all these other things, it's also okay for her not to want to be a mother. It's okay for her not to have any children. And we can release those expectations as well. So she can go off and enjoy all of the little things that life has to offer. Because there's something to be said about having that type of freedom of not having another human being to worry about. Yeah. So I just want to throw that in there too.
I just want to be the daddy. I'm here to I come on the weekends and the holidays, call me for the basketball games. Y'all can keep all the other stuff. Like, I don't want to be there all day, every day. That sounds like a lot.
It never ends. It never ends. It never ends.
Because people, but that'll be a conversation that we have another day or something. But I mean, it's true. People are always like, well, she's the mother, so she should. And then they have this list of prescribed things that a female should be doing. And it's like, okay, but then when you talk about the father, it's just like, well, he's giving money and he comes over here on X, Y, and Z. And it's like, bro, this child is here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, however many days when they're not in school. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, life is not just, let me give you, however much child support is, or let me buy these shoes or whatever it may be. I don't even know. But look, to each his own. I'm here for the freedom of choice. And like what we say, know what you want. Cause that's why sis don't got no kids, cause I ain't the babysitter.
Well, we need to wrap it up today. So how do we want to do this outro? And do we want to tell the people about the special thing we have coming up on May 5th?
Yes, of course. Oh, so y'all.
Okay. Hey. You want to say? Okay, May 5th is coming up. It's coming up. So hopefully you're listening to this before May 5th so that you can jump on to our website and see what we've got going on. And what we've got going on is brunch. We're getting together in the New Jersey area, Weehawken, New Jersey to be exact. And we're having brunch, and we would love for you to come join us. To be with us is a whole experience. If you enjoy this podcast, thank you for watching this YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you're watching from. Thank you for watching. But to get us in person, live and in the flesh, is a whole different experience. And we would love for you to come join us on May 5th. So go ahead to the website and find out a little bit more about what it's like to experience Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits in person. And come out. Buy your ticket, and tell somebody else, and bring a friend. And the dudes are welcome too. The gentlemen are invited. And yeah, so who wants to add on to that? Because I know there's some things that I'm missing out.
You aren't missing out much of nothing, girl. But look, I'm here for all the things, here for all the shenanigans. Y'all come eat and drink with us, break bread. Let's be one big happy family. Look, I'd be like Barney over here. Let's be one big happy family. Like, I am so thrilled about our event on May 5th, you guys. Like, I really am. Mm-hmm. And of course, these beautiful women, we're missing Shelly. Hey, Shelly, because I know you're watching on one of these platforms. Of course, and Shelly, she makes the 5th member of Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits. But we love to get together. We love to have conversations and hear your perspective of these things. And of course, we're going to be talking about becoming her and just kind of diving into some of our relationships that we have with each other. And seeing how that has impacted who we are. And again, yes, we always want our ladies there showing up with the biggest smiles, beautiful smiles, but we also enjoy the men to join in on the conversation, because it's nothing like having both the male and female aspect there and being in community. But yes, it is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Y'all come out a little earlier. I know the girls was talking about, the mothers not really, getting all of what they want, and they come out a little bit early and celebrate their own little version of Mother's Day. Come out, get y'all a drink and relax. Y'all can hang out with me, who'll be trying to be the daddy. Okay. And we'll have a real good time, if that's all right with y'all. Look, but I don't know. I'm excited, and I'm excited to see these ladies in person. Y'all tap in. The energy is always amazing, and y'all gonna feel energized probably for a whole 2 weeks after. We always be still on a little energy high, like, and then y'all have the memories. Just want to say, we appreciate the little things and have the memories to talk about for forever. But look, we can wrap it up again. I am Jamika, and look, I'll pass it over to y'all.
I'm Dr. Lucia, and we'll see you guys out there in these social media streets. We'll see you on Wednesday on Instagram. Carmel.
I am Carmel, Health, Wellness, Fitness, and Nutrition. And I'm passing it over to you, Debbie Maisha.
Hi, Debbie Maisha, the Central Energy Alchemist, and I look forward to meeting you and your friends and whoever else. And man, I was about to go down another path. And whoever else might come out to the brunch on May 5th. www.blackcoffeehoneyandgrits is where you can go ahead and get your ticket. And we will see you at the brunch on Sunday, May 5th. Be there at 11:30 if you come. And we don't do CP time around here, okay? All right, y'all. Is that it? We letting them go?
That's it.
We're letting them go.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.